Yes, we are ready. I don't want to say welcome back.
Oh, good.
I don't feel like we've been gone for a long time. It feels like we were just here last week.
Yeah, well, I've gone from 25 to 26.
25 to 26.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all. Welcome to the new year. Welcome to the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your host, Sully, and this will be the last time I say Happy New Year for 2026. I will not say it again. No more season's greetings and all that stuff. How you doing?
Happy New Year, Sully.
Told you I was going to say it.
Anyway,
How you doing, Mr. Barry Mitchell?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Good to be here.
Good to be back.
Just, New Year, ready to get going. 5th of Jan. Some exciting things in the pipeline. Just really amped for this year.
You know, it's funny. The year's just started. It's the 5th of Jan, and next week you're already gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Busier than the Donald.
Doubt it, Jim.
Nah, I do doubt it. Nobody's as busy as that guy.
His capacity's huge. Like him, don't like him. His
That's an interesting one, right?
capacity is huge.
Because I think like we start in the new year. You know, we know the things that go around on social media, new year, new me. We know all the things. We've
Yeah.
been here before.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something that is incredibly important: capacity.
Yeah.
Is there a way to build capacity
Yes.
as a person, like as an individual?
Well, if you see, a lot of people are going to focus on what they want.
Got you.
They're going to focus on the results they want, but they're not going to focus on who they need to be to get those results.
Okay.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. So you and I are going to do our High Rocks this year in March.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so now it's official. You just haven't committed just to me. You've now committed to
To the podcast.
that you and I are going to do a High Rocks. Now, I have done a couple of High Rocks before.
Yes.
I've done a half Ironman.
Yes.
I'm pretty fit. My level
Yes.
of fitness is a little bit bigger than yours.
Way more.
So the reason, so we can now set the goal and go, okay, Sully, you're gonna do our High Rocks. Great.
Yeah.
And you can focus on the end result. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to get you there is the behaviors and the person that you are going to become in the journey to get there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to relook at your schedule. You're going to have to stop doing some things that you normally do.
Yeah.
You're going to have to relook at things, and it's who you're going to be. Who you're going to be to do the things that you need to do to get the result that you want. Okay, and over the next 3 months, because it's in about 3 months' time, it's in March, over the next 3 months, whether you get up in the morning or don't get up in the morning, whether you come to training with me or don't come to training, that will be dependent not on your ability to do it, because you have the ability to run.
Yeah.
You have the ability to lift things, pull things, push things.
Yes.
So you have all the abilities.
Mhm.
Okay, and there's no excuse for you not to know what to do, because I've done it already.
Yep.
So and then you have a vehicle.
Yep.
You can drive.
Yes.
You have money.
Yes.
So there's none of those things that should stop you and should get in the way.
No.
Okay, so who will get in the way is you.
Yes.
So when we talk about capacity, is what capacity do you need to grow in yourself so that you can get to March and do your first High Rocks?
Mhm.
Okay, once you've done your first High Rocks, what will happen is you'll be a bigger being, you'll be a bigger person, because you've gone through the journey of discipline, you've gone through the journey of finding out what works and what doesn't work, you've gone through the journey of embracing the pain, all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
You've gone through the journey of having to manage what you eat and change and do all that sort of thing. And however you get to High Rocks, you might get to High Rocks 10 kgs lighter, you might not be, whatever it might be, however you get to the High Rocks, you're going to have created some form of capacity
Okay.
to get there.
Yeah.
If you follow a disciplined process, you'll be a bigger being. You've learnt on that journey. Then you can make a decision. Where am I going to go next? So capacity, for me, capacity generation is key. As you are going into this year, and I am talking to anyone listening to this podcast, who do you need to be by the end of this year to have what you want to have? Because
Yeah.
it's a state of being. It's a state of what levels of discipline do you need to create? John Maxwell. I mean, remember this. I've been listening to quite a few teachings from John Maxwell and recently, and John Maxwell, he says there's there's the difference between goal setting. Goal setting is about creation.
Okay.
So you set the goal, you create the goal, but you're not gonna achieve the goal until you take action.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
action is discipline. Action is discipline.
Okay.
And it's in doing the actions that you learn, because you also learn what you didn't know. And you also learn you've never done a high rocks before.
No.
Okay, so you're going to go down this route. You're going to learn stuff. You're going to learn stuff and go, shit, I thought it was easier. I thought it was harder. I thought I had to do this. I thought you had to do this. So you're going to learn, and that learning will challenge you. And as you push through and uncover the things that you didn't know and get better at the things that you did know, so your capacity grows.
Got you.
And that's the process of life. It's the process of personal development is growing your personal capacity.
Would you say that then, I mean this in the best way possible, just based off what you're saying, the result is irrelevant, right? You can set the goal, you can have that, but essentially it's just a fantasy when you have that, right? It's not real yet because you haven't done it nor achieved it. You have to do some things to do that first.
Well, it is real because it's real in your mind in terms of this is what I want. Okay, so if you can see it, you can largely, if you can see it, you can do it.
Okay.
If you can see it, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as you have the abilities and all that
Yes.
sort of stuff to do it. So and then you make the commitment. And I think that's the shift is great. So, I've got a goal that I'm going to be have $1 million by the end of the year. Great. Okay. So the goal is real.
Cool.
But it's the actions and the activities that are going to get you to that goal.
Yeah.
So the goal is real. As long as it's, you go back to the acronym SMART,
What is it? Measurable,
achievable, realistic, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So you can go. There's many different types of acronyms for goal setting, but the reality is it a stretch and is it realistic? So if I'm earning 10,000 a month now,
yeah.
Well, what's the likelihood that I'm going to earn $1 million a month in 12 months' time?
Yeah.
Probably unlikely, and unless I got a very focused plan on how to
very,
do
very
it.
clear plan.
But so there's that. There's a difference between a goal and a wish. So I spent most of my 2-week break planning my next 10 years.
Okay.
So
nice.
So getting clarity on what I want in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years, I'll be 65. What do I want by the time I'm 65? What does my life look like in 10 years' time? Great. What are the key areas of my life that I'm going to work on? Okay, good. So as I map that out, then I get a lot more clarity in terms of what are the key things that I need to focus on. So I go from 10 years to 3 years, 3 years to 1 year. What are the things that I need to focus on and get done this year that'll take me to
10 years.
To what I want in 10 years? And coupled with that is not only what I need to do, but who do I need to become? So, part of what I'm mapping out is what do I need to learn? Who do I need to learn from? What relationships do I need to foster? What type of people do I need to hang out with more?
Interesting.
Who do I have within my network that I can work with that'll push me to become the person I need to become to play at that level? So it's way more than just I set a goal.
Yeah.
I said, great. So you set a goal, and then what? So this idea of capacity, and that's the journey of life, is we naturally grow capacity anyway.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just for me. I'm like, I don't think people think about that, right? I don't think people look at it and actually go, "I've grown capacity to." So let's look at this last year versus this year,
Yeah.
right? So last year, for example, I was doing, and we'll keep it in the business context. My business was doing, I don't know, let's call it 50,000 a month
Yeah.
for the first 6 months,
Yeah.
and then for the last 6 months, we're actually doing 80,000 a month.
Yeah.
People don't look at that as like my capacity grew. They look at it as, I don't know, the way that I would look at it is they look at it and they go, oh, okay, cool, we got more clients, or we did this, or we did that. Not
Okay. Are you achieving more by doing less?
no,
Okay. Or are you
achieving
achieving more
more
by
by doing
doing
more.
more?
Yeah.
Okay. So then if you are achieving more by having to do more, well, you still got to grow within your capacity.
Okay.
So when your capacity grows, you achieve more
Mm-hmm.
by doing less,
Okay.
by being able to do more. So what I can do in a day to day
Mm-hmm.
is way more than what I could do in a day 10 years ago.
Got you. So your
Okay.
capacity grew over
So my
10 years.
personal capacity grew. And because so what I focus on now versus what I focused on 10 years ago or 5 years ago, it is very different in terms of where I'm at. My ability to produce and create income
Mm-hmm.
is based on is based on my capacity growth.
Okay.
So I it, take it into sales. When you start as a salesperson, you can go out and make 10 calls a day and you may close one deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you continue making 10 calls a day and continue learning and growing yourself and changing your skills and changing your mindset, eventually what happens, you still make 10 calls, but you learn to close three deals a day.
I like that.
Yes, the context of who you're calling on and your target market and all that changes. But what happens is you can now achieve more by doing the same or doing less. Over time, what happens is you no longer need to make 10 calls a day because your capacity and your being, when you meet a client, you start understanding that, okay, I'm wasting my time with this person, they're not going to buy. But when I first started, I didn't have that ability. I didn't understand that. I didn't have that experience, so I didn't know.
Yes.
So
True.
I make way more money by doing a lot less selling than I used to do when I started this business. But within my, yes, an experience gives capacity.
Okay.
So experience, because experience is the best teacher, because you learn from experience. You learn what works, what doesn't work, but you grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't waste my time making certain phone calls that I know aren't going to happen. But I didn't know that 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So in order to achieve a bigger life, in order to grow a bigger business, you have to grow yourself. Our team, we have a small team at Uncovering Greatness, 6 people. But this year, if each person grows their ability to achieve more by doing less, by becoming more efficient, by becoming more focused, by becoming a lot more clear, by becoming more disciplined, we'll still have a team of 6, but we can double the size of this business.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if everyone just rocks up to work and did what they did last year, and
Be the same.
and we may have the same or worse results. So it's each person in our team. What I want to see them is I want to see them grow their capacity.
Got you.
But grow their capacity, so that. But also, when you do more, because your capacity's grown, when you do more, you do it way more effectively. You create way more results.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay. So we're talking about capacity. Now there's something very interesting I want to speak about. New year, new things happen. Business kind of stays, the principles stay the same.
Yeah.
What do you think are going to be some of the key things in business in 2026? Like some of the key, not trends. I don't want to use the word trends, but so for example, we're seeing it's I mean, I'm not even gonna say we're seeing the rise of AI. It's here, it's happening, it's part of our everyday
Yeah.
lives. It exists with us. Do you think that we'll see more things like that within business? So, for example, you have the rise of AI, but do you think that there'll now be also a rise of people wanting more human connection, like speaking to a real person?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, you know, my take on, I hate recorded AI call centers.
Yeah.
I just, in fact, I'm at the stage, if a company actually sends me a bot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bot, I will not do business with that client.
Oh, okay.
I just, or that potential supplier. I won't. It's so impersonal. We are people. I believe we are beings. I love technology, and I think technology is a huge space. But why would I want to? Why would you think that you can just create a recording, and I speak to this recording, and I pick up that it's a recording, or it's an AI chatbot,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you call it, on the technical side. It's an AI, it's an AI person,
Mm-hmm.
being. It's not a being, but an AI,
Yeah.
the AI function. I'm not talking to any human being. Why would I want to work with you? I want to work with people. I want to build a relationship with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're so early on in this growth of technology in terms of AI, that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to shift and change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we will see people that want to deal with people. We'll also see people that are quite happy
So,
to deal with a robot.
yeah.
Okay, great. The question is what you got to ask yourself is where you're going to fit in. I mean, in our business, I I have no doubt that in the next 5, maybe sooner, or 10, maybe longer, um, I'll be able to holographically transfer myself from here into a
Into a
client's
room.
venue.
Yeah. I would not be. Yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't put that past technology right
Now,
now.
yeah. Now, why would I want to do that?
Because Barry, you can make so much money and your capacity. It will be that.
Yeah.
That's going to be.
So,
So I mean, I think that will be the
so I get
justification
it.
for me on
It's
watching.
it's exactly the same as why do we go on Zoom and all that? I can reach more. I get that, but again, it's like my business. Well, in terms of my business, when I'm sitting with a group of leadership in a business, 10 people around the table, and I'm with them, the connection is way different, way different, at a much higher level of connection, effective communication than when I'm doing it with them on Zoom.
Mm.
So in our business, I've just got to choose how I want to do it. I've also got to look at the market and find out how my optimum customers want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so part of it is, how am I going to future proof my business?
Well, I mean, I think that that's such an interesting one because this business now, like in March, it's what, 20 years in March,
Well, 19. So
19 years in
we're
March.
going to, yeah. So 2007.
So,
Um, so
so 19 years in March of the
yeah,
of
yeah,
2026.
yeah.
I feel like it's been, and this is my opinion. I feel like it's been future proofed, right? If it went for 20 years, there has to be times when you thought about it or didn't think about it, and you just went with.
Sule, Kodak went for how many years and then collapsed?
I don't know how many years they went for
Well,
actually.
I mean,
Many years.
Kodak owned, I don't know, something like 95% of the world's market of photographic market.
Yeah.
Within a very short space of time, it went to
Zero.
It nearly went to nothing.
Oh, it's coming back.
Sure,
Yeah.
but you could. I mean, Kodak was the known brand in the world.
In prime position for photography.
You know what I mean. So I think you got to be looking at technology. You got to be looking at changes. You've always got to be looking at things, but you've also got to focus on what you got to do now. So you have to be looking, going, okay, where do I look? I mean, I don't know. Maybe in 10 years' time, the training business will not exist because we'll be able to ship robots all over the place and connect with people. Okay, well, if that's the case, that's the far extreme, then I'm defunct.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I doing? Well, what I'm doing is I'm building other sources of income outside of what I do.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. And I'm building sources of income that I believe are future proof. In other words, that are non-technology
Dependent.
non-technology dependent and have little risk of technology.
Got you.
Doesn't make
Yeah.
So, for example, products that people will use, whether there's AI or no AI, whether there's robots or no robots, that creates a different result.
Yeah.
So you know, so when you're looking at your life, I'm looking 10 years, going, where do I want to be in 10 years? What do I need to create in 10 years? Most people are not doing that. They're looking at tomorrow. They're hoping. Most people have started 2026, hope that it's going to get better than last year.
Lots of hope.
They're hoping, and I'm going to do this year, and I hope this changes, and I hope that changes, but when you speak to them about where you're going in 10 years,
No, that's not.
well, they're not thinking about 10 years.
It's almost as if most people do not plan to live to see 10 years.
Well, they're focused on today.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not looking at 10 years.
Actually, yeah.
You're mapping it out.
Yeah. No, it's funny when you actually said that. So I'm now in year 3 of where I want to be. So I actually started at the end of last year. Well,
Okay, good. So in 10 years' time, if this training business no longer exists because technology takes over, where are you going to be?
Me.
What are you doing? Well, so you don't have to tell me here, but
No.
the question is, what are you doing to future-proof that?
Yeah, got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are you doing to move into a different, or create some different options so that if it does come up, you have options?
Yeah.
I think,
Just being prepared.
so, yeah, and creating real options. And I don't think we do that a lot in our business. Now, I'm not talking about. What I'm not talking about is in your business. Don't go start 5 other new businesses so you can make money. Okay, no, you need to get focused, and you need to focus on what you're doing, but you also need to understand where the future is. We create the future. We create the future by what we do today. So, your question, what the key things in 2026? Focus on what you can control.
Okay.
Whatever business you have, whatever team you're driving, whatever you want to create in your life, whether it's in business or in your personal life, focus on what you can control. Okay. In my personal life, in my health goals, I can focus on getting up and training every day.
Yep.
Because I can control that.
You can.
Okay. I'm not going to let my focus go to, what happens if there's another COVID, and what happens if there's another lockdown? I can't control that.
No.
I will, if that comes,
Then it comes.
then I need to focus on what I can control
in
that moment over that period of time to support the goals that I have.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So focus what you can control in sales and business. You can control the fact that you pick up the phone. You can't control how many people answer it.
True.
You can control the fact that you can get off your ass, get in your car, go knock on some doors, go set up some appointments. You can't control whether those clients are ready to buy today, tomorrow, next week, next month. You can influence that stuff. You can change your skills. You can influence 100% because you grow. But don't tell me the market is down when you're sitting in your office and you haven't made a single phone call for the whole week, or the market is the market's down and you're not connecting with people, or the market's down and I'm not finding out where network meetings are. The market's down and I'm not coming to, I don't know, an Uncovering Greatness, business connection, or so because you're in control. You can get up, and guess what? What you're not in control is that when I go to that, I don't know, our business breakfast that we've run for the last year, Entrepreneur Hangout, I'm not in control that if I go to Entrepreneur Hangout as a guest, that there's going to be anyone there.
You don't know that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether there's going to be 30 people, 40 people, 10 people, 3 people, or 1 person. But what I can control is that I'm going to be there. And so it's that, going into this year, create clarity of what you want from this year. Create clarity in your goals, create clarity in your strategy, create clarity in the things that you need to do to get there, and then do the things that are in your control.
So So for me in my space, right? In the social media space, I feel like it's always the same thing every year. And it's just my take is that every year we consistently are speaking about you've got to be driving more short form video content, more TikToks, more reels. You've got to be doing all those things.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because of something that you just said that sparked this thought for me because they speak a lot about visibility, right? So if you posted 3 weeks ago and I now come into your page and I want to buy,
Yeah.
the trust level is gone, right? Because you haven't posted in 3 weeks.
Okay.
But based on what you said, do you think that it's a higher, let's just say I know my target audience, right? This is who I'm after. I'm after these 20 businesses.
Yeah.
If I am going to see those 20 businesses every day,
Yeah.
does my visibility not increase way higher in person than it does online, for example?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a business owner
Yeah.
and I'm knocking on your door every day because I want to sell you a new podcast studio.
Mm.
Okay, great. Well, you're going to know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, I run the risk that I'm actually going to piss you off because I'm there too much. And I think that could be the same in social media.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So.
I think you can get over bombarded by stuff and you go, I'm tired of seeing this stuff. I'm not interested. Does that make sense? So I think like anything is you have to manage it. What's the frequency that's going to get the best result for you?
Okay.
How do you do that? You measure it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would measure it. I'm out. I have 20 clients.
Mm.
I visit one once a week. I visit 3 once a week. I visit 3 twice a week. I visit 3 4 times a week.
Mm.
And then I'd gauge
what happens,
measure and gauge. I think there's a huge in day-to-day business and day-to-day sales. There's a huge lack of focused measurement.
What do you mean?
Well, focused measurement as in really understanding what my real actions are creating based on the frequency of how I do those actions.
Okay, so the example of calls, I make 100 calls, but I'm not tracking.
Well, I tracked the calls. I made 100 calls, but do I really understand those 100 calls? Do I really understand who I spoke to? Am I just going about making the calls, or am I going about doing the calls with a very clear understanding of what I'm trying to achieve? What did I say? How did I approach each person? What worked and what didn't work? Okay, so I do 10. I speak to them. I find out about them. I use a specific script that I've practiced, so it doesn't sound scripted and very clear. And at the end of 10, I go, okay, how many? What were the statistics?
Okay.
Okay, and then I do it again, and I do it again, and I'm tweaking and changing all the time. I'm not just doing stuff.
You're just making calls for the sake of.
I'm not just making calls for the sake of making calls. You know, I'll take it back into my personal life. Right now, I am very focused on health.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very focused area of mine, and so I've got a very clear goal for the next 90 days. I know exactly. I know how much weight I want to drop. I know what my body fat percentage I want to get to, and I'm very clear on what I'm going to eat every day, and I'm going to measure what I'm eating. So I'm cutting that. There's specific things that I'm totally cutting out, but what I'm doing is I'm measuring how it's working every week. How am I feeling? What's my sleep? Has it affected my sleep? Not affected my sleep? Am I sleeping better? Sleeping worse? How's that translating into my training? When I'm training, do I have more energy, less energy? And I'm not just going to, because I committed to do it non-stop for 90 days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak it week by week.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So not aimlessly, but 90 days of just doing the same thing and you're not tracking it.
100%.
You have no idea what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I did it though.
So I mean, you go back to your question is visibility. You need to be visible. The question is how much do you need to be visible? Well, I can't say to you need to be visible 3 times a week. It depends on your business. It depends on your clients. It depends on who you're after. It depends on the message you're giving. It depends on. So I go back to social media. There's all these social media gurus that tell you, here's my thing. Follow this. Do this every day. Well, it worked for certain businesses. It doesn't work,
For sure.
may not work for your business.
And I think that that's such a great point. And I think like we've hit this, I feel, and it's something that Nicole said to me a while back around we've people have sort of come out of that COVID, those, the COVID years, the out of that. And I feel like now is just the 2026 is, for me, it's like the fresh start, right?
Well, we got to move on now.
Now it's done. We in it. We had
Yeah.
2025. Now we're moving forward.
Yeah.
And like you just said there around like the social media gurus who speak about post 17 times a day and this will happen. But nobody actually asked the question of, but what business was that for?
Correct.
Right. And then what happens is you have business owners who then go, okay, cool. I saw Barry, he posted this video of I must buy this course. And then I go buy the course. And then I go and I focus all my attention on creating this content.
Yeah.
My business is still over here.
Yeah.
We're not making sales because we're focusing on getting our messaging out.
Yes.
You post 17 times a day and guess what? Nothing happens.
And what's it creating for you?
It creates nothing. And this is something.
Whereas the reality is you could actually just get off your ass, go call on 10 people and close 5 deals, if that's it, which may work.
And you could actually record that and post that if you really wanted to.
So you know, what do you want to achieve? How are you going to achieve that? Who's achieved what you want to achieve? And then are you going to measure how you're getting it done? Because different businesses, we're in the training business, great, but we have a very different business model to many other trainers.
Very different.
So the core fundamentals are the same. We're going to use social media, no problem. How we use social media, which client base we're going after, how often they want to hear from us, all that sort of stuff, that's going to change. And it'll shift up and down. So, because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
No.
However, over a period of time, if we are measuring our numbers and someone comes to me and says, Barry, I want to build a business like yours, and we have all our numbers, I can say to them, go do this.
Yeah.
Because it's a business exactly like yours. Go do this. Does that make sense?
Would you do that?
What?
Let's just say somebody came to you and said, I want to build a business like Uncovering Greatness. I want to teach, train. That's what I want to do. Can I don't know, shadow you for the next 3 months? Would you do that? Like I literally just want to learn from you.
Sure. How much are you going to pay me?
What's the amount?
Well, so reality is I don't know. What do you think that's worth to you?
Oh, interesting.
Because I don't need to do it right now. It's not in my strategic plan.
No, it's not.
Does it? It's you're not. You wouldn't be a client base. You're not part of my current client base. Not who I'm looking for at the moment. Definitely not in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you want to shadow me and work with me and learn from me, well,
it's going to cost you.
What's that worth to you?
I actually like that because I think that we live in this space where people think that, and where that gets misunderstood, right? When you say things like, find people that have done what you've done and go and learn from them.
Yeah.
There's a very big, and you've always said this, there's a big difference of watching them online, right? And going, cool, I'm going to take Barry's principles, I'm going to go practice those things, versus then picking up the phone or sending an email, whatever, getting in touch with Barry and saying, I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
Because the next question is actually a very good question. How much are you willing to pay for that?
100. Well, so for me, it was like, I'll take you back. 19 years ago, I found myself in Phoenix, Arizona with Blair Singer at a 7-day course. And at the end of the course, I knew that I wanted to learn from him. I knew that I wanted to do what he did. I wanted to understand what he does in the room and how he teaches and trains and how he does experiential learning, because I had found someone that I deemed to be the best trainer that I've ever seen in my life. And I wanted to be able to do what he did.
Yeah.
And I sat down with him. I said, how do I do what you do? He said, you buy a franchise. I bought a franchise. I didn't say, well, I'm please support me.
I'm from South Africa.
Why would he want to support me? Well, but the reality is, if he did it for free, he's out of exchange, because he had 30 years of experience at that stage, had taught and trained thousands of people around the world. Well, why just me? So my exchange is, well, if I really want that bad enough, then I better do what's needed to be done to get it done. So I bought a franchise. And then I didn't hang around and wait for him to come. I subsequently went to the States, I don't know, 5 times in the next 2 years, paid for other courses, went and learned from him, brought him to South Africa, paid for him to come out here so that I could learn from him.
You got in the game.
I got in the game. I did, I did what was needed to be done to get what I wanted to get. So, and yeah, so, find someone, but what are you prepared to invest? You want to learn from them. What have they invested? What have they invested in their life? What experience do they have? What's that worth to you? And if you're not prepared to find how to get it done, well, then you're not serious.
Yeah. That's an interesting one, eh?
But you go back to your first question is capacity. You want to grow capacity? Put some skin in the game. Because
find it. You'll find capacity.
You find capacity because suddenly you're committed to doing something.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you, are you committed to doing Hyrox? I am. Good. You're going to find frigging capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Because like this morning, I said to you, well, now you have no choice. And you went, well, yeah, I know that, but I've made it. But the reality is no, I'm not going to give you a choice. You can quit.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's where you're going to find yourself. Is stuff this. I don't want to do this Hyrox thing. Okay, well, quit. Okay, great. Or stuff that I'm going to do this Hyrox thing and I'm going to find the capacity. Does it make sense?
Oh, yeah.
But if I said to you, Sully, put in 10 grand now, and when you do Hyrox with me, I'll give you your 10 grand back. What's the likelihood of you doing Hyrox versus having no skin in the game?
No, he's not about me specifically.
Yes.
And I'll give you the 10 grand.
See, right now you have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're not going to, but you have no skin.
No. It's easy for me to
somebody
decide.
Come by, and you can say, oh, the missus said we have to go for a family arrangement. And I'm really sorry. You can find any friggin' excuse. The market's down. Any excuse not to do it. Okay. Because the truth is, you have no skin in the game.
Yeah. There's no reason for me to.
There's no other than the want to do it, and it'll be great to do it, and wada.
All the fantasies of it all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And in 3 weeks' time, when I phone you up and say, meet me at home on Sunday, we're doing a 10K run, or when you come to the office, come to the box, because I think we should start doing we should start doing some practice. And you're going to come down there and you're going to pull the 150 kg sled and go, oh shit. Well, that's when we're going to quit.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
yeah, because it starts.
When I say that is, I say that's when the opportunity comes to quit, because it's like, oh shit, this is harder than I thought. There's stuff in here I didn't know. There's stuff that I have to learn, and that's when you have to push through. But the reality is the bigger the commitment you have and skin in the game, the less chances that you're going to pull out.
True story.
So think about it. If I take $1,000 off you, I say, okay, we'll put $1,000 in. Okay. If you compete with me, I'll give you your $1,000 back. If you don't, it stays with me. Okay. Okay. So now you have a little bit in. It's $1,000. You can afford $1,000. You can also afford to lose $1,000.
No, I can't afford to lose.
No. You can't afford to lose $1,000.
Taking my money seriously.
You've seen some of the shit you buy. You can afford to. You. But you know what I mean.
Just wear UGT shirts.
Okay, which can you afford? Which can you afford to lose? $1,000 or $10,000?
$1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 grand. 10 grand becomes a little bit.
Yeah. Heat and pressure.
A lot more heat and pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. What about 100 grand?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot. I can't afford to lose that.
Okay, so if I said to you, okay, I tell you what, Sully, you do Hyrox with me. Okay, but you need to drop 12 kgs. Okay. You need to drop 12 kgs, and you need to be running at, you need to be able to run a K at under 6 minutes a K for 8 Ks. Okay. And I tell you what, you put in 20 grand now. Okay. You put in, let's say 20 grand. You put in 20 grand. You give me the 20 grand. I'll hold the 20 grand. If you compete and you hit your targets, I'll give you 10%. I'll give you your 20 grand back plus an extra 10%. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll give you your 20 grand back and I'll pay for Hyrox.
Okay.
But, well, now you're in the game.
Yeah.
Now you have something to lose. You have something to gain outside of actually just doing a deal.
Yeah.
You see, so people don't create, I don't think enough people create the skin in the game, create the pain, create the reason to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, you're so spot on there. And I think that, like, for me, I was telling somebody this the other day, is and you know this, like, I've been speaking about doing high rocks for, like, since last year, beginning of last year. I've
Yeah.
been speaking about it for a while. And then you did the Iron Man. Then we did the podcast around the Iron Man, and then we did the ebook around the Iron Man. And I was reading it, and I was like, all of this, if for me at least, if you take away everything else, there's one key thing that this journey is about: discipline.
Yeah.
That's all. Take everything else away. And when I was reading what you were going through, and I was just like, this is the thing that I'm lacking in my life. I'm lacking discipline, right? Discipline towards myself, which
Yeah.
then impacts everything else in my life. It doesn't seem like it does, but it truthfully does. So I went, well, if I had more discipline, let me start off with something, like you said, that I know I can control: my health. If I get disciplined about that, what else can I then get disciplined with? And that was the shift. And then, yes, I started to tell more people about the fact that I'm going to do the high rocks, because then the level of it increases.
Yeah.
Right? Oh shit, now people know. So people are, oh, you're preparing for high rocks. I mean, even freaking Carrie messaged me over Christmas, and she was like, oh, I heard you're doing high rocks. I was like, okay, now, okay, people know now.
Yeah.
I can't pull out. But I had no intention of ever pulling out. But it was because it is about that one thing. It's discipline. How do I help? How do I create it here so that I can create it everywhere else in my life? And I feel like that translates so well for business, and especially going into the new year. What is the discipline that you can get into? One discipline you can get in your business.
So Sully, the deal is whether it's business or life.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. People try separate business life. Well, it's my company, or well, it's my personal life. No, if you're ill-disciplined, you're ill-disciplined.
Very true. Very true.
So, Nicole taught me a wonderful thing. She said, babe, when you can master one area of your life, you can master all areas of your life. So when you focus on mastering one area, well, you can, guess what? And what's mastery? Mastery is the ability to be able to take a skill, or to take a skill and to be able to practice it repetitively over a period of time, so that you operate at the highest level. And then it becomes a default to what you do, because you no longer think about doing it, because that's how you do it. So you become, and a core function of mastery is practice, and a core function of practice is discipline. Practice takes discipline.
Yeah.
So it's getting better and better and better and better and better and better.
Doing it over
and over and over and over again. The problem with discipline, it's boring. So people want to be motivated. That's great. So it's setting a goal and having the euphoria of doing it. That's driven on motivation. I'm motivated that this year I'm going to get it done. This year I'm gonna knock it out the park. Okay, there's motivation. You sit down, you plan, you're all motivated. Great. And in 2 weeks' time, the motivation starts slipping away. In 3 weeks' time, and when you're having to do it again and again and again and again, well, eventually motivation goes away.
God.
What keeps you going? Discipline. What keeps you going? For me, two things. You know where you're going and why you're going there and what you want to get. And you know why you're doing what you're doing, because you have the faith that I'm going to get what I want. You have the faith and the belief that I'm going to get there, based on a series of steps that'll get you to there. Yeah, does that make sense?
It's the faith, man.
But it comes back to the discipline. The discipline is, I'm going to do it again. Discipline is not, I do it every day and it's amazing and I love it and it all worked out. No, discipline. I mean, I have another goal that I'm going to do another half Ironman in June. Okay. So I told you I'm going to do the one in Durban.
Yes.
Now I've done one. Now I'm on another journey.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it again. So I have to have the discipline. And my coach is starting. So she's starting to push me at a higher level now.
Oof.
Going, okay, we know what you did in the first one. Now we want to go. Okay, so I've set some goals on the times that I want and what I want to do, because now I know the game I'm playing. I know the game I'm playing. So Now I'm driving it. I had to do a 12K run the other day, and I hit 8Ks, and I just had enough. It's like friggin' heck, man. And I was very unmotivated.
Just that enough. Like, I'm done with this running.
But part of it was my little voice, and I had to go, shut up, just keep going. And it was a crap run. It was crap. The time was crap. But guess what? I finished
Did it.
Why? Because I was disciplined to push through to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And 2 days later, I did another run. It was a friggin' cracker of a run. But that's the deal, is that you have good days, bad days, things work, don't work, but it's the consistency of I do it again and again and again and again and again and again.
It's just, it's not going to go perfectly all the time.
You know, so
It's always good. And I feel like that's what it is for me now, where I'm at, because I've started running without headphones.
yeah.
Because I always run with headphones. I always work out with headphones. So I was like, hey, let me try this running without headphones thing and see how it goes. The first day I loved it. I was like, oh man, this is quite, with my thoughts. Yeah, this is quite. Second day I hated it. I wanted to turn back and go get my headphones. But I was like, what is, but the actual thing was, I was hating the run.
Yeah.
It wasn't the headphones. And it was easy to go back to the house to get the headphones, because guess what? I wasn't going to go back and run again.
Yeah, it would have given you the opportunity to have an excuse.
Yeah, let me just take a break.
And you're hoping your missus would go, oh, by the way, someone's just, oh, crap.
Yes, we need to go here. Yeah. Okay, I'm great. But no, I've realized the suck of it all. And I feel like that's the part that I'm enjoying again. And I realize, I remember that's something I always enjoyed about sport, was the suck of it all.
Embrace the pain.
I loved that part. The end goal, the results, all of that is lovely. But I actually loved the practice more than I loved the game, because the practice is what showed me what I was actually capable of.
Well, that's what makes you so.
Yeah, but that's all it was.
That's what makes you. You know, it, and that's true in any business. And in life, is, you see, people want the gain. What they want, when I say the gain, they want the results. They want to walk on the field and for everyone to say, well, well done, you made first team, or wow, you've just closed $1 million deal, or wow, look at the car that you bought. Oh, you must be successful. But it's, the lesson is actually the journey to the game.
100%.
It's the practices every week. It's the grind, because that, go back to the, funny enough, we've gone full circle. That's what builds your capacity.
Oh, true story.
The capacity on the sports field is built in practice. It's built in the gym.
Every day.
It's built in the days that you don't feel like doing it. That's the capacity. The capacity for me to do a half Ironman was built in 20 weeks of consistent, everyday frigging grind training.
It was.
Watching what I eat, The result.
Yeah.
The result was competing and finishing in a half Ironman. But the capacity came from the journey. And in business, people don't want to see that. In making money, people don't want to see that, because they want money now. They want it now. I must have it tomorrow. So it's, and we each have our journey to walk. We each have our journey to run. I saw something yesterday, a post on a runners group that I'm on, and someone said, posted, it says, it was this picture of a person running, and then a guy running behind him in a pair of high heels, and he goes, the disappointment when you have worked your ass off for a whole year to finish your first marathon, and someone comes running past you in a pair of high heels. But the reality is don't compare yourself to that person.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, compare yourself to that person, but don't mitigate your journey. Don't limit your journey. You see, because you don't know where that person is. You don't know where they've run, how they've run, what they did, how they do, what happens to their feet, What you do is yours. What you do know is that, hey, if I keep going, maybe one day I can run in high heels. Does that make sense? It's the same in business. Is you gotta run your race, because you have your lessons, you have your capacity, you have your business to pick up. You and I are going to do high rocks. Okay, now it's highly likely that I'm going to push you in the event.
I would hope so.
Does it make?
If you don't, I'd be very concerned.
It's not an arrogant statement.
No.
My level of fitness is way more than yours right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing as
Okay.
you.
So we're going to run it, and I'm going to push you to the degree that I'm going to push you. And it's highly likely that we'll be in a few runs and I'll have to wait for you. And I may have to, and that's okay. Okay. But the reality, but if you get upset after the first 3 rounds with yourself, like, how can I be slower than this dude? He's 10 years old, 15 years older than me, and da 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 da, and this is unfair, and well, it's that's not going to work. So don't do that in business. Don't do that. Run your race, but understand that your goal is, the game is to finish High Rocks. That's the journey between now and when High Rocks is. That's the journey. That's where capacity is going to be built. Because that's going to because you can make a decision. You either want to get to High Rocks and enjoy it because you have a better level of fitness than where you are at the moment, or because you have integrity and you've committed, you're going to get to High Rocks, and if you're still in the weight that you're at and you're going to hate it.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so now you make a choice. Do I want to hate the end result, or do I want to hate the journey, or parts of the journey, to love the end result?
No.
Does that make sense?
I
Or
wanna
you
hate
may
the
love
journey.
the journey because you don't do the hard things that are needed, but you'll hate the end result. You get that. So you can take that back into sales.
Yeah.
You can learn to fall in love with the things that you hate, picking up phone calls, knocking on doors. Over time, they become easier and better and more simple
start
to
loving
get
it.
the result that you want. Or you can love the fact that you make excuses, don't do what you do, and then hate the end result because you're not going to have it. And it's the same in business, in life, in marriage.
Interesting flip that. No, it is. You can hate the
know,
yeah.
That's why I talk about choose your heart and embrace your heart.
Yeah.
For me, it's I just, and you know me well enough now. For me, it's actually the journey that I love.
Yeah, you love the heart.
But it's challenging myself all the time. It's pushing myself. It's driving myself at a higher level of discipline, and that's what grows my capacity. And then rocking up and looking at other people, going, "Oh wow, there's a guy that's the same age as me, and he did it in this time." Well, I think that allows me to challenge myself to go to a higher level.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're not sitting there comparing yourself to him, going, but he's the same age as me, and look at the time that he did. And I was like, oh, okay, so people at my age are capable of doing that.
100%.
I'm aiming for that at the next one.
So now take that into business.
Yeah.
I look at it. I don't know if our model was the Tony Robbins model, or for example, of putting thousands of people in a seminar. Well, I know by looking at a guy like Tony Robbins that it's possible to put 20,000 people in a venue.
It's doable.
So if that's the model that I wanted,
you've got to do it.
Great, but guess what? I bet you started with 5. And then 10, and then 15, and then 20, and then 30, and then 40, and then 50. And you'd look at it and go, what did he do to get to that level? And am I prepared to do the same type of stuff? If I am, great. Well, go do it. And also, don't expect to have it by tomorrow. Because there's stuff that I don't know that I'm going to have to learn. Does that make sense?
Yeah, with you. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Enjoy the journey, man. Learn. It's tough, but it's in the toughness that you grow. You grow by embracing that stuff. Get up and look forward to it, man. And when you hit the end result, you'll go, man, I never expected that result. Because when you really embrace it, you get stuff out of it that you never ever could see.
Embrace the suck. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, thank you for watching. See you guys next week.